way you move.
I like the way you do it. I like the way you do. I like the way you move it. I like the way you move. I like the way you move. I like the way you move. If you want me, want it could if you want.
Hi guys, how's everybody doing? Welcome to another rendition of Hot Topics with Jaden O'Neal. I am here again today with a baby. I know it's been a minute, with a Diddy alert, but I had to wait till it actually got a little good. It was a little dry for the last couple of days, and there was really nothing to really talk about. But yesterday, on this Diddy alert, Bryana, aka Bana, took the stand, right? And then today she finished her testimony as a witness for the prosecution. Bana is basically a friend of Cassie's who was helping her with I guess some type of rebranding, maybe like a clothing line or something to that nature, that they were both trying to go in on and try to like develop different things and things of that nature. The way they were making it seem was that Bana was like a junkie. Like her and Cassie would go on these like binges of like a K-hole for like hours upon hours, and I don't even know what a K-hole is, but it has something to do with ketamine. All right. But it's just one of those things where you're just like, okay, well, let's hear you out. So one of Bana's testimonies was about her and Diddy getting into it with each other. And he basically attacked her and held her over a balcony 17 floors above the street, right? On the 17th floor. It was believable until they started to poke holes in it, right? This is what the defense is supposed to do. So a lot of the things that Bana was saying was like, oh, he picked me up, and not to mention, Bana had a not so up to par lawyer on her thing. We're not going to mention his name, but she had a lawyer, and he basically, when she wanted to go after Diddy, he basically embellished things that were not all the way true. So he would take a mile, you give him a mile, oh, this is what happened. He ran 100 miles with it, and he made it seem like it was the worst. And this was unbeknownst to her, according to her, like she did not know. But we'll double back on that coming back, we'll double back. So she said that Diddy came up to her while she was enjoying the views from the balcony. He grabbed her, right? And he hung her basically over the balcony, 17 stories on the 17th floor. Okay. You're on the 17th floor. Okay, get it. It was confusing because at one point she said, oh, I was facing him and I saw him running towards me and he picked me up and hung me over it. Then it was, oh, I was looking at the views of the city and he hung me over the balcony, Okay. Things happen, it could be back and forth, whatever. She said they got into a screaming match. She was scared for her life. He ended up bringing her up and then flinging her into the patio furniture that was on the balcony, right? Now, this is where it gets murky. One point, she says Cassie was there, right? Then she said, oh, Cassie came in from the party Because this is all happening during a party, guys. Like, it's not like it was just him and her and Cassie in the apartment. It was him, her, and Cassie, right? It was a whole party happening. And she said that Cassie came in. Then it was Cassie was already there. So it's just very quite confusing. But the whole testimony from her was very based on, this is what I recall, this is what I know, da da da. But from what you told us, you guys were always high. So how factual, not to negate what took place, but all of the you know, like the play by play. How is all of that truthful? Or could that be something that could be made up? You know? Okay. So just going back and forth with her about it. And then this is where they really started to poke holes in her scenario. They was like, okay, well, what have you done for, when did you meet Cassie? Oh, I met her on, you know, this year. When was it until you met Diddy? Oh, I met him a year later. Okay. Were you and Cassie hanging out prior to then? Yeah. Uh-huh. What were you guys doing? Oh, well, you know, we would occasionally, like, you know, do drugs, you know, ketamine, you know, cocaine, weed, ecstasy, you know, a Cocoa Puff. Now, I found out what a Cocoa Puff is, right? So apparently a Cocoa Puff is when you roll up weed, right? And you poke holes in it, right? And you put cocaine in it, in the holes, but only in the holes. Because if you remember, Whitney told us that she would do weed and put cocaine on it. Now, this is not the same, because if you did it that way, you would get the same pull every single time. When you poke holes in it and you sprinkle cocaine in it, okay, the cocoa, you get bursts of whoa, you know, like I never done cocaine, so I don't know how you really feel, but everyone always, people that I've talked to who have done it has been like, it makes you feel so alert and so energized, and you know, like, so woo. But she was just basically just saying that, right? And then she said that after the incident on the balcony, she basically went to the doctor, right? And the doctor started asking him these questions, so she ended up just running out and leaving and not really giving him any answers, because he was just like, what happened to you? Like, what caused all of this? Okay. Then she had a photo of her bruises, of her, her wounds, her bruises that she has on her body or what have you. And she said that her girlfriend took the photo on this date, and that's the date, basically the night after. This is when it happened. Like, you know, it happened the night before. This is the day after, right? She said this happened on the 26th. Right? Okay. According to records, because Diddy, excuse me, guys, Diddy was doing press events or something was happening in New York or Jersey, and they have him there from the 24th to the 29th. So there's no way he could have technically went back to this party that took place. But this is where all like the discrepancies start to come into play, right? Because she says it happened on this date. There's no way possible that this could happen on this date. She has no true medical records of what actually took place. She didn't take heed to what the doctor said, right? Her storyline is just already a little erratic, right? Then, after the incident, she hangs out with Diddy on multiple occasions after that, even a week after the incident. And she said, well, I just didn't want any problems with him, and we were just trying to, like, just smooth things over. No, ho, if you hung me over a balcony, yeah, we might be able to be cordial, we might be able to be cool, but I'm not going nowhere with you. I'm not hanging out with you. I ain't hanging out with your girl. I ain't hanging out with, no. That is a dub. I don't care what nobody say. You tried to kill me and hang me over a balcony? Nah, 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 nah. No, no, no. No, not at all. So her storyline was just very like, and the defense was really like, so you still hung out with him? You still hung out with Cassie? You guys all got high together again, and y'all did this and blah blah blah. It was too much. I think Bana was on the stand way too long because it just started opening up different scenarios of basically not being able to tell the whole truth, or maybe be a little bit vague in certain things, or just not clearly remembering things. And another thing they brought up about her was when Cassie was filing her lawsuit, she asked if Bana could be included, right? Bana said, I don't want to be included, da da da, right? But Cassie was like, hey, I have that this happened on this date with you, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, no, that's not right. Those aren't the dates that happened. It happened on this date, and it wasn't at your apartment, it was at a hotel. Or it wasn't at your hotel, it was at your apartment. Whatever. The defense is like they were colluding together, right? Colluding together about their lawsuits. Because shortly after Cassie filed her lawsuit, and won, Bana filed her lawsuit with a lawyer named Tyrone. That's all I want to say. He embellished something, and he sent a demand letter to Diddy, and they were just like, absolutely not. And she was upset because she did not give him permission to send that letter. She did not know what he said in the letter, and it was just very, very embellished from what she said. Like, that was not the entire truth of what actually took place. Okay, right? So she got rid of him. She has a whole nother lawyer, and she is still suing Diddy for millions and millions of dollars. So, you see there, money at the end, money is the end game, I feel, for a lot of people. Because they didn't go after him as like a civil thing. I mean, not a civil thing, but like as a criminal case. And with criminal, there's always statutes of limitations. So they let those run out, and then it's, oh, I've been so hurt by you. I feel this way. I want to see you. No. Like, I feel like if you're truly hurt, and I know sometimes it takes a long time for people to face their, whoever abused them, and it takes them a while, but this lady was around him all the time. And I think that's why I'm starting to have a hard time listening to these witnesses, because they were abused, but they also got rewards for it. And I understand it's a thing. It's a back and forth. It's like, I abuse you, I give you this. I abuse you, I give you that. I get it. But I just feel like if you stayed and you were complacent in it, then you just need to just walk away and find a way to truly heal. Because I feel like with someone like him, you would probably never get the answers that you want. And I think my wish for the victims is that they actually find peace. Because even if he goes to jail, is that truly going to give you peace about what is actually taking place, to you. So, Bana gets off the stand, and then in comes Jane Doe. Now, we don't know who Jane Doe. There's a lot of people who are speculating who Jane Doe is. I don't care. That don't have nothing to do with me, right? So, Jane Doe talks about how she met Diddy and how their experience together is, right? So, Jane Doe said that she was on a girls trip with her girls, right? And they had went to, I believe it was Miami. Yeah, Miami, right? Went to Miami. And her girlfriend, like her homegirl, was dating Diddy. Okay. All right, girl, I see you. But then Diddy started to flirt with her. So, what did this hoe do? Exactly. We can fast forward. You already know what happened. She basically. This person says that her friend ended up getting engaged to some other man who lives somewhere else, and she left and went with him. Now, mind you, this is all that can spend like maybe a month. I would say a month, right? Okay, people move fast. It is what it is, right? Whatever. And she was just saying like how sweet he was, and when they exchanged numbers behind the homegirl's back, he was like, well, we need like, code names or like an alias or something like that. So he was like, just call me Ernie. And she was like, okay, I'll call you Ernie. Call me Bert. Bert? You want a man, you want a man to call you Bert? And you're, whatever. So they were Ernie and Bert. It is what it is, right? um, so she was just talking about how charming, how alluring, how charismatic Diddy was, and I can definitely see that. Like Diddy is, with all the other things with Diddy. Say what you want, Diddy has a personality, right? Don't know how real it is, don't know how fake it is, don't know the other extent to it. But Diddy has that type of personality that is, I want to party with him. That's why everybody went to a Diddy party. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you do this and you do that and you go to a Diddy party and it's just like boring. Like, it's not boring, so it is what it is. And Diddy is normally like the life of the party. Everybody wants to go there. So, she was just saying like how he was and how he was, But of course, it's how everybody is. You're meeting a representative. You're not meeting the real person, right? So she just talks about how they were so googly eyes over each other and all this other stuff. And then she was like, when I was with him, he introduced me to different things, the drugs, And they were just going back and forth, and she was just like, it was ecstasy and Molly and things of that nature, and they basically did it all the time once they solidified the relationship, And they were just doing it all the time, and they dated from 2021 up until the time he was arrested in 2024. So that's about 3 years. That's about 3 years, right? 3 years. And there was a couple of breaks in between. Like, they would go back and forth because one of the main things that they're trying to prove with her is coercion, right? And what they're trying to prove with her is that because every single time Diddy would break up because Diddy ended up paying her rent, right? He was like, well, I'll give you a stipend or I give you whatever it is like that you want per month. And she's like, well, I want this per month and I want da. And he's like, okay, whatever. So when they would break up, he would be like, or better yet, actually, let's put a pin in that. I'm gonna double back on that. I'm gonna double back. I want to get to something else first. So the first time he brought up, now these are not called freak offs anymore. Now they call it hotel nights or nights of debauchery, right? Okay. I like how you jazzing it up now, right? So he basically, they're basically doing drugs for hours and hours and hours. Like, I think it was like 15 hours they were high, right? And they were watching porn, and they were just talking about the men on there saying like, oh, and Diddy was like, don't you want this? Like, don't you want to take that and all the other stuff? And she was just like, all caught up in the rapture of it all. She's like, yeah, da da da, right? I want to take that. No. Is that why he say, take that, daddy? Take that, take that. I see you, daddy. Okay, well, whatever. So they were just going over that aspect of it, and she was like, yeah, I want to do it, blah, 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 right? In her head, she said she wasn't thinking much of it. She went to the bathroom. She ended up coming out. He's like hunched over, like on the phone doing something. And lo and behold, he has set up his freak off. It is now in full effect, all right? So now he has a guy coming now named Don, who's now coming to solidify whatever is going to happen between them. And of course, the situation involves baby oil, baby oil, baby oil, baby oil, and lots of it. Just everywhere, just baby, 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 baby oil. And she was saying that with the situation, she thought it was a one-time thing. But then it turned into being 90% of the time that they were ever together moving forward. So she had basically opened up Pandora's box. And it was wide open for these men to come and lay it low and spread it wide while Diddy watched. And pour baby oil on everybody, of course. Baby oil, baby oil. But I just can't understand. I just can't. But I don't know. So she also said that she wanted she also said that she wanted him to wear, basically be put together all the time, right? Like she had to be done. Like she had to look like a Barbie doll. Like he wanted her to look a certain way. Her nails had to be done. Her hair had to be done. Her makeup had to be perfect. Her nails had to be, if I'm not mistaken, creamy or white. That was it. He didn't want red. He didn't want purple. He didn't want black. None of that. So, and she also had to wear 7-inch heels. Stripper heels, if you will. And if you recall, during the raid, right, that came out like after the fact, like not before the trial, but during the trial, it came out that when they raided the house, they found several pairs of stripper heels. I think that was Jane Doe heels that were all over the house. I do. I really do. Baby, when I tell you, it's getting good over there, it is getting good, all right? But I'm going to leave y'all on this tidbit. Jane Doe told Diddy. Oh, before I go to that, the coercion. Didn't forget. Thought I forgot, right? I almost did. When they would break up because they would be together off and on, like even though they were together for almost 3 years or a little over 3 years, they would have little moments where they would break up. And because the hotel nights have started with the gentleman, he'd be like, well, whenever she would be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to be with you. Because, that's how all relationships are. Like when you open up a box like that to where you think it's going to be like one time, maybe this time, or it'll never happen again, or this is only like on like, like a special occasion or something like that. And turn to an everyday thing, or every time you see that person, it's like, damn, like I really opened up Pandora's box. He would be like, well, if you don't want to do this, it's cool, whatever, da da da. Then he was like, well, if you need a break or you need space, then we're good, but please don't think that I'm gonna be paying for your rent. Like I'm gonna be paying all this stuff for you and we're not together. I don't know if that is I don't know if that is coercion or not. Only because if I'm in a relationship with somebody, and let's say I'm like, oh, I got you, I'll pay your car note, or I'll pay your car insurance, or whatever the case. If we break up, I'm not paying that on the next month if we're not together. When we get back together, then I'll pay that. To me, that's not. I'm gonna need y'all to tell me in the comments if that is coercion, because I feel if you're in a relationship with somebody and you guys break up for whatever reason, you're not obligated to still support your life or be some type of part of your life to where like if they say, oh, we need a break, we need space, or y'all break up, you're like, oh no, I need to do whatever I need to do to stay together because I want to make sure that my bills are paid. That's what happens when you break up, right? You don't get all the benefits of a relationship, or however anybody may think of that, And then before I leave this right here, there's a lady on this stand said, I want to do an OnlyFans. And I'm gonna leave that right there. Now, I know you can make a lot of money on OnlyFans. I get it. But, baby, hey, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, because we are taking this thing on. We're up and at 'em. Like, we are not holding back on this, all right? We're going to have so much fun with this channel. Like I said, in the upcoming weeks, we're going to do a live. We're going to do a mukbang. I haven't decided, but you guys need to tell me what you want me to eat in the mukbang. What do you want me to eat? Do you want me to eat a seafood boil? Do you want me to do White Castle? Do you want me to do Popeyes? Do you want me to do Jamaican food? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I need to know. I'm not doing McDonald's. I'm not doing Burger King, so don't ask that. Yeah. I'm not doing any of that, all right? So, it was great being here again today. Make sure you like, subscribe, have a ball, guys, because I'm going to have a ball with this, right? Tell your friends to tell a friend. I got that from Wendy. And that's my girl. All right, guys. You guys have a great day, and at whatever time you're watching this, and be blessed. Okay. Bye.
I like the way you move. I like the way you do